What would really work for parents would be to have restrictions on your kids, because without these restrictions, then they feel like they can do whatever they want. Where there are drugs, there is alcohol available. If there are no restrictions, then kids begin to get into things like that at an early age. And I see even kids who are 14 years old, who are my brother's age, are starting to do things that I didn't experiment with until junior or senior year in high school. And I think that's very scary. And I also would like to make the suggestion to parents to compromise with their kids, but to not give in to every suggestion that they have, because some of them are just out of anger and out of passion for being independent. So what I mean by compromise is a discussion in which both parties are heard, so the kid can voice his or her opinions about what works and what doesn't work, and the adult can voice his or her opinions about what works and doesn't work. However, sometimes I feel like parents can be overwhelming in that they want things to go their way, and it's very important to listen to both sides, because kids are very educated and have interesting suggestions for their parents that might work for both. My parents were always very close to me, and they always listened to what I had to say. They came both from pretty strict backgrounds, so they really wanted me to do well in school and not drink, not smoke. But throughout all of middle school and the first few years of high school, my opinion was always heard. It sometimes turned into an argument, but my opinions were always heard. We would always have a conversation about what worked and what didn't, and what ended up happening usually was a compromise in which my opinions were considered, not always followed through by my parents. So they would always say that they were the bosses and I was still just a kid. I always thought that was ridiculous, and I hated it. And then it was only until about I was about a junior in high school that I began to realize that they were the ones that did everything, and they cleaned up and they ran the house and they had all these responsibilities that I didn't have. So when they said that I was still just a kid, I listened to them and I respected them. So in regards to my friends, I've seen a lot of people go about life and fail, and I think what it comes down to is the trust factor, because if parents place too much trust in their children and don't impose some sort of restriction on them, then the children begin to grow in a way that's only determined by what they want. It's only now, as a sophomore or as a junior in college, that you begin to realize that not everything is handed to you. And if you make the wrong decisions, your parents aren't always going to be there to clean up your mess. A lot of my friends are experiencing that at the moment because their parents have given them what they wanted, allowing them too much freedom, and have placed too much trust in their children's hands.